YouTube Bozic going the Go Downs is back. More player rankings for you guys here. We got the interior offensive lineman today, top 20. This is guards and centers combined. We did tackles yesterday. It's a playlist of these videos. Onto the defense next. We're also going to rank every single offensive line. So every NFL team by their offensive line. We'll give you their projected starting offensive line as well. So I'm excited about that. Rules and criteria listed above me is kind of how it works for all the positions, which we'll do all of them. I can't wait for the defense there coming up. But yeah, top 20 interior offensive line. Tyler Smith's a tough one to rank because he played a lot of tackle last year because the injuries the Cowboys suffered. Tyrone Smith's a big one, obviously, but Tyler Smith was very impressive to me at the tackle position, and they really want to play him at guard. He looked pretty solid at guard as well, but he almost looked better at tackle. So we'll see that they want to play him at guard. They want Tyrone Smith at left tackle. They want Tyler Smith at guard, but maybe he's a better player than where he would be ranked by a specific position or at a specific position because he's so versatile. He played tackle in college, and he was very good there last year, but I think he's got a lot of upside at the guard position, but there still could be growing pains. But it's a guy I had to rank. In here because I was impressed with his season last year. We see a couple Jets guys on this slide. Laken Tomlinson, who's a very good guard for the Jets, could be even better because Aaron Rodgers is making adjustments up front. There's a lot of good guys in this list. It's just because they're ranked a little lower doesn't mean that means they're really good because we're combining guards and left guards, right guards, centers here. Shaq Mason, who is getting up a little bit up there in age, but he's still very, very solid. The new Texans guard. Obviously, he's played for the Patriots and the Buccaneers. He comes in at 18. The other Jets guard, Elijah Vera Tucker, is also versatile enough to play tackle. He played some tackle in college as well. He does have that durability, concern. You seen him, missing some snaps last year. Obviously, it's a guy if he plays every snap, all games, like he's gonna be much better than 17 on this list. I mean, he has potential to be not only top 10 but top 5 maybe. He's got to stay healthy. But you like that he's a very talented, versatile piece. I got a rookie at 16. I know people have problems with me ranking rookies in these, but these are projecting the upcoming season. And I'll tell you what, Peter Skoronski is going to play at a very high level right away at the guard position. I know he was a tackle, but it's going to be even easier for him to play guard, and he's a guy that could play tackle. The Titans might need him to play tackle because of multiple reasons. There's struggles there. But the suspension with Nicholas Petit-Frere as well. But their plan is for Skoronski to be a guard because he can be a Pro Bowl guard really right away. So he could even be better than 16. So I had to rank Peter Skoronski, who's going to be really good right away. Shouldn't be a surprise to people that the really good tackle/guard is going to be a really good guard right away. So 15 through 11, see some centers pop up. Corey Linsley, who at one time was known as the best center in football, and at any given time he could be the best center in football. Does need to stay healthy, but he is very talented. Brandon Scherf, guard from the Jaguars. He was with Washington for a bit. Obviously, he's very solid. He did give up some sacks last year, but he still displays, the dominance at times in both the run and in the pass game, run and pass protection. Wyatt Teller at 13. The Browns got a really good duo. They have a really good interior in general, mainly the way they're coached. I think that's good players. We'll talk about the other Browns duo there with the guard position, but Wyatt Teller comes at 13. Frank Ragnow is one of the better centers in football. I thought he really got going the second half of the year last year. I think we can get more of that full term this year because he actually was coming back from an injury previously. So, but really, last year really got going. And Landon Dickerson, who, if we did this list based off the past, would he be 11? Probably not, but we can kind of see him getting there. He's going to be that good of a guard, and obviously could play center as well. But that good of a guard for the Eagles. And they have a lot of guys that could play guard or center, really not a lot, but Cam Jurgens obviously in the same boat. But yeah, playing, with that, in that system, with the talent, with that offensive line, he's only going to get better because of that. So Landon Dickerson kind of sneaking up the ranks here. He comes in at 11. We're going to the top 10. Trey Smith at number 10, who's been a steal for the Chiefs, was a guy I was high on at Tennessee, and he's worked out right away. Nasty bully of a blocker, really good in terms of run blocking as well. And we saw the Chiefs' offensive line, how dominant they were. For Patrick Mahomes, for the top team in football last year, especially in the playoffs and the Super Bowl against a really good defensive line. So I got Trey Smith. Maybe he wasn't quite top 10 before this year. Maybe he was, but I got him in there now. Jason Kelce at 9. Probably almost retired. I mean, really, he almost retired. and he's sticking around, obviously, and he's just still that good. So I feel like it's a safe bet that he'll be a top 10 guy. Mike Nwenwu, the Patriots guard / tackle, he can fill in at tackle and play pretty well there if you need him to. It's another versatile piece, but he's a very, very good guard, and that is where he'll play unless some injuries happen. But I got him at 8. He's been very solid, pretty underrated too, because I think people know he's good, but when we're talking about these positions, you don't really hear his name like a whole lot, I guess, like as much as you should. So I have him in the top 8. Creed Humphrey, who's now taken over as the best center in football, the lefty center, which is pretty rare, and he turned out pretty good, so shows that doesn't matter. But the Chiefs' offensive line's been so good. Some changes at tackle, actually 2 brand new tackles this year, so that's going to be interesting. But I am not worried about the interior, and we're not done talking about the interior. The Chiefs' starting interior is in the top 10 on this list. Eldon Jenkins, another guy that can play tackle if you need him to, but a bully of a guard, dominant guard. Another guy that, you need to see stay healthy, but he's very, very solid when he's on the field. And we're going to see it more this year, especially with the run blocking, because the Packers are going to run the shit out of the football. And they're pretty good at it too, but with Rodgers, they're more of a pass-first team or pass-heavy team because of that. Now we're going to see more running the football, as we should. So we'll get to see Jenkins bully some guys in the trenches in terms of the run blocking, the run game. Top 5, here we go. This is tough to rank Quentin Nelson, because we know he has the capabilities of being number 1. We actually saw it right away when he came in the league, and I think he's been a little underwhelming. And underwhelming meaning because we expect him to be number 1, we expect him to be elite, and honestly, based off the last couple of years, he probably, if you combine all of it, maybe he's not top 5. But we expect him to, because he's a big name. We know what he's capable of. But I think bringing in Shane Steichen and that run-first team, and I think they're going to get the most out of him. I think he's going to kind of get back on track here. He could finish the year at number 1. Wouldn't surprise me, because the talent is in there. He's just been a little underwhelming. Underwhelming doesn't mean bad, because obviously he's been good. But just because we know he can be great. And Joe Bitonio has been one of the best, arguably, top 3 the last few years, and he's right in that range for me, and the Browns are going to do a good job. Maybe pass the ball a little bit more, more of a run-first team. They could definitely still be a run-first team here, but want to get more out of Deshaun Watson. Chris Lindstrom, who probably played in this range based off last year, but in general, over the last several years, he probably wasn't top 3, but I think he gets there. I think Arthur Smith we want to see him do a better job coaching and win more games, but I always thought he's done a really good job. Maybe it's his system, but him at the same time coaching the offensive line, and the Falcons' offensive line, that unit really came together last year. So I think Lindstrom can get even stronger, could get even better here, coming off that huge contract extension. So he's at 3. Joe Thuney at 2, super consistent, equally effective pass protection and run blocking. Just ever since they got Thuney in there, it's just been a different offensive line, really, for the Kansas City Chiefs. And we saw the dominance, the display of dominance all last year, but especially it stood out in the playoffs and Super Bowl. So I got Thuney at 2, even though 2 through 6, 7, the other Chiefs guy, the center. I mean, it's all so close. And I got Zach Martin at 1, which is a little bit of a holdout situation, but it's pretty clear right now. Again, that's why it's interesting, though, because I think it's pretty clear Martin, Thuney's great, got him at 2. It's pretty clear Martin's going to be better than him. Lindstrom maybe has a shot to be number 1. Bitonio, again, him and Thuney the same, but we know they're safe bet. They're going to be really, really good. Probably, Martin going to be better than him. Nelson's an interesting one, because I could see a scenario where he's better than Zach Martin, but he has to play much better than he has been playing. But, so that's why it's interesting, what guys have the opportunity to be the very best. But I think it's a safe bet that Zach Martin is the best interior player in football. Super consistent. And again, it's the Cowboys, having an all-around offense, pass attack, run game has been very important, and he's just very, very strong in both those categories. So I have him at 1. There are some really good players here, again, that all can be in the debate for 1, like we said. But it's good to get a look at these guys here. Again, Twitter subscribers been getting top 32 since we just did the offensive line. Last video was tackles. I ranked the tackles, and now it's the interior offensive line. I want to do that video I always do. I'll take every single NFL offensive line, I'll project their starting offensive line, and I'll rank them from 32 to 1. It's a big video, so I'm excited to start working on that now. I'm actually going to sneak it in now because we just talked about offensive linemen, so that'll be a big one. Hope you guys look forward to that. Like, subscribe to notifications on so you don't miss anything. Our in-season content right around the corner. I cannot wait. I'm freaking pumped. It's my favorite stuff there. Football season. It's everyone's favorite here. So make sure you follow that Twitter. That is very, very important. Links pinned in the comments for anything you're looking for. It's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.